students. There are not many bands performing across our country, period, right now. And we started this conversation in the summer when we were talking about this. One of the things that we talked about is a book, a famous book you might have read, which is The Obstacle is the Way. Well, this is our obstacle, and this is our way to be together. And so this is our way forward, and being here with you means so, so much. Parents, whenever we talked on July 6th, we said that we would be safe and we'd figure it out one step at a time. And for our students, we talked about on that first day of school where we had 25% of each one of our classes, that band is band is band. That means that our goal is whatever model we're operating under at that moment, that we'll have integrity about what we approach and what we do as a program. And embracing the fact that we decide what our experiences are, it's not our circumstances. And lastly, we've always valued that we start from the why. We talk and we think about why are we here? And then we can figure out how to do what we do, how to live as a band. And then it becomes really obvious that this is exactly where we all belong tonight. Sitting out here on the parking lot, performing for each other on an absolutely gorgeous evening. So we've done a lot in a very, very short amount of time. This group has only been together 5 times as a full group. So that's why we didn't worry about warming up for you with you as you were listening. In fact, tonight is the first time this exact group of people have ever been together, because we had soccer practices and games and cross country and all those other wonderful things that our students do. So it was great to have that warm up, and we loved letting you listen into what we do, a little snapshot. At North Hills here, we perform a lot because as musicians, that is an authentic experience for us in education. That's what the authentic experience is. Our symphonic concert band, these students usually perform for the first time in December. It's the first time we've ever had this group perform in October. And we are so proud of what they've done and how they've risen to that occasion. Maybe we've redefined the future for this group through this circumstance that we were given. So we're very proud of them being here performing for you. How many of you, and I haven't done this yet, are freshmen actually in this group? Could you raise your hand if you're a freshman? So we have 9th through 12th graders in all of our group, but there's a lot of freshmen in this group here tonight performing for you in their first high school band concert. So we're going to play 2 pieces for you. The first piece is called Fanfare and Triumph. It's by a very prolific band composer named James Swearingen, and it's just an absolutely delightful piece where we focused on finding the contrast in the music, especially between long notes and short notes as we work to articulate together. Welcome to the concert. It is just, I have to be honest, you all filled in when I had my back to you. And to turn around as we were rehearsing and see all of you there, it's a pretty cool thing. Thanks so much for being here. This is Fanfare and Triumph. I'm assuming, Mr. Kaufman, you gave me the pop filter. Is that correct, sir? You're the absolute best. Thank you so much, Mr. Kaufman. We usually don't do theme concerts here at North Hills High School, but we fell into a bit of a theme for tonight that we wanted to explore, and it's been fun to do. So when programming for the groups, we programmed a piece by Aaron Copeland for our wind ensemble, which is called Variations on a Shaker Melody. And it's a melody that many of you know as Simple Gifts. Well, when we were programming for Symphonic Concert Band, there's a famous piece by Elliot Del Borgo called Shaker Variants, which takes that shaker melody and creates a group of variants or variations or changes based on that melody. And that's what we've explored through both of those groups. So then in between, we filled in with other pieces that fit this kind of Americana theme. So you'll hear Washington Post March tonight, which was one of the second most favorite march that John Philip Sousa has ever written. You'll hear an Appalachian Sunrise and a fiddle tune as the evening progresses as well. And Shenandoah, based on the folk song Shenandoah and the Shenandoah Valley, the Shenandoah River. So this is Shaker Variants. So if you can kind of log this in your head as we perform it, you'll first hear the melody to Simple Gifts, and then it'll vary or change throughout the piece, and then it will kind of come back in a pretty glorious way at the end. And then remember, all the way into our wind ensemble concert, you'll hear this same melody through the pen of Aaron Copeland, one of America's greatest composers. So this is Elliot Del Borgo's Shaker Variants. very, very much. And thank you, parents and audience. So go ahead and grab a seat, Symphonic Band. I think I said this before, but this is our 5th time ever being together. And this is the first time this group has ever been in the same place that we had all these students here. So we are very grateful for them coming out and finding a way to do this together. So we're going to do a quick switcheroo. So this is Wind Symphony here, Symphonic Band. So over on my side. So we're going to ask Symphonic Band, I know you're also great with your mask, is if you could come up and go into this center area here. Actually, I lied. I want you to come back here. So grab your music and come back here. There's a big open space. Wind Symphony, we're going to allow you to take the seats, immediately start to warm up, get things where you need to be, and then Symphonic Band will fill in with these seats once they're done. So if you can go back by the do not enter sign, that would be awesome. And we'll bring Wind Symphony up. Can we give them another round of applause as they leave the stage tonight? Right back there, you don't have to wait for everyone. And we will probably have, parents, a 5 to 7 minute moment for these students to go ahead, Wind Symphony, the seats are yours. For these students to warm up on their instruments, and then we'll start with the second part of our program for you this evening. Start to play, and remember to take up those empty seats so we're all together. You gotta make sure you start up the temporary first. if you play note though, did I have my pirate costume by the time that I was on my I don't have to walk and find it. I told my wife about all the jokes that I told you today. Her only response was, I feel so bad for that. Make that fun.
Good evening, everyone. I echo everything Mr. Lavelle said before, and it's so wonderful to see this parking lot full of people. We had an awesome dress rehearsal last night, but it's nothing like seeing everyone out here. Concert at Savant again, wonderful, wonderful job. I enjoyed listening from back there, so great job, you guys. So before you here is the Wind Symphony. This is one of our 4 bands at the high school, and just like Mr. Lavelle said before, we prepared a lot of music and not a lot of time. And I couldn't be more proud of all the work they've done on these pieces, and they are going to sound absolutely wonderful with the music we prepared for you this evening. So the first 2 we're going to play continues with our Appalachian theme, okay, our folk melody theme that we kind of have going tonight. So the first one's called Fantasy on a Fiddle Tune by Pierre LaPlante, and that fiddle tune is the folk song Old Joe Clark. So you're going to hear that melody in many different voices, and it goes through variations throughout the piece, but it's a really uplifting, fun concert opener. It's the first one. We played this on the first day of school, so it's the most experienced piece we've been doing, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Fantasy on a Fiddle Tune. And the next one certainly continues our Appalachian theme, and this one is called Appalachian Morning. So the composer is Robert Sheldon, and he writes this to mimic a sunrise in like the Appalachian region of our country. So it's an absolutely beautiful piece. You're going to hear many lyrical melodies. There's some trumpet features throughout there, but pretty much all of our instruments get to show off our lyrical playing. So our students have really enjoyed learning this. It's a beautiful one to listen to. Please enjoy Appalachian Morning.
one more piece for you with our wonderful wind symphony. This piece, Strong of Heart, was written by Sean O'Loughlin, and Sean wrote a commission for us. Some of you might not know this if you're new to the high school band program, but we have commissioned a piece of music written specifically for our bands to do the world premiere of each year since 1965. It's the longest running commission series of its kind in the United States. And when we met Sean, we enjoyed his music very much, and he wrote this piece recently, and it's just an uplifting, fabulous piece. If you feel like you recognize his music, he's written music for the Grammys and the Emmys and awards shows and pop orchestras, but he loves to write music for student groups like this. So we're going to end with just an uplifting piece by an American composer, Strong of Heart. So go ahead and start to play. And then we'll open up the seats for you. Hum, nasally hum. And some clarinets, no thirds, just B flat. Sorry, no thirds yet. Horns and clarinets, make sure you take that out. Here we go. Ready?
So we felt like that piece didn't need much of an introduction. So like Mr. Lavelle mentioned at the beginning of the concert, that was the Washington Post March, Seuss's, or the world's most second famous march, closely behind the Stars and Stripes Forever. So we've had a great time enjoying to play that for you, and really nice job bringing out the music in that wind ensemble. So the next piece, it's a completely different style. We're going to a very lyrical style. We're going to play Shenandoah, and this arrangement is by Frank DeKelly, a very famous band composer. So you'll certainly hear the melody of the folk song Shenandoah. It's presented in many different ways, goes through different variations, different key changes, but it's just absolutely great music, and we hope you enjoy Shenandoah.
So about an hour ago, I foreshadowed and asked you to remember Simple Gifts, that melody that you heard Symphonic and Concert Band play so wonderfully. And so now we're going to play the Aaron Copland. So if you've ever heard this piece or sung it at church or saw River Dance or any of the many, many places that this melody has, it was really Aaron Copland that took it from the Shakers and made it into this famous melody that we all know through his ballet Appalachian Spring, which represented this part of the nation that we live in. If you've ever seen the ballet, they're overlooking the beautiful Ohio Valley, looking out into the frontier that was still unsettled. So hopefully you'll get that sense of Americana from this wonderful work written by Aaron Copland. This is not an arrangement for a professional wind band. It's just a joy to play music like this. congratulations to the many soloists we had on the piece. Like I said, that was written for a professional wind band. Goes through some very difficult keys like G flat major for those of you that are musicians at home. It's hard to play inside. Nevertheless, outside on our marching band instruments instead of our wooden horns and such, and they did a wonderful job with that. Can we have another round of applause for all of our students? Thank you so much for coming tonight. The planning for tonight's concert really started on June 1st. On June 1st, we got together with Dr. Manarino and some of our school board members, and we started to talk about which is the way that we can be here performing and making music together. So thank you to Dr. Manarino and Dr. Williams, our amazing team here at the high school, Mr. McKiernan, Mr. Lesjak, and Ms. Vince Moyer, our Director of Activities, Shelley Zimmerman, who is just the best anywhere. Over the last 2 or 3 days, I can't tell you enough and thank enough our security team here, and Chuck, who's here directing traffic, and Chris, who's Mr. Coppin, who's videotaping, and Mr. McKiernan coming out here and walking the parking lot with us numerous times just to figure out how can we make this work. To be honest, seeing all of you out there is even more glorious than we could have imagined. Students, you've been wonderful tonight, and thank you for everyone that just made. Maybe we'll do this all the time. This would be cool in the snow, okay? We're already thinking about December. Just bear with us on that. It'll be cool in the snow. We're moving forward. We have our masks for our students, and all of those things, our administration, our official masks came today, so that's what the students wear when we're inside, and the bell covers, and the filtration systems. We figured out a way, and we continue to figure out a way to keep music alive here in the North Hills School District. Thank you to Mr. Beaver, who is truly just the finest colleague and friend that I could ever imagine. And so I can tell you surely that we wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for him and for his work. Thank you, students. So, most of you have so embraced this opportunity and have been amazing looking at the opportunities that we have to learn together. And parents, we're so grateful for all that they are. And that's because of you. Thank you, parents, for being so flexible this entire summer. I can't tell you that each time we've changed things, it has impacted me personally. One of the ways that we believe we show respect to you as a band program is by being organized and being disciplined as a staff and conveying things to you well in advance. I've joked for years that I could tell you the band schedule 5 years from now. And so I really look forward to getting back to that. But in the meantime, thank you so much for all that you've done to make this possible for our students. The obstacle is the way for now. And lastly, thank you to everyone for making North Hills an incredibly special place to learn music. It truly is one of a kind in the country. And tonight proves that yet again. Like I said, we already have plans for our December performance, and we can't wait to be back together again. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank every time Mr. Beaver and I, we average about 4:30 to 9:30 for any night, those 5 nights we've had these rehearsals. And with us from beginning to end, there's been 4 girls, Maddie Zerone and Libby Carroll and Emma Letke, and they brought along in the last 2 weeks Rebecca Slagle. So can you all, students, thank them? I mean, they're the ones that have been lifting. Maddie, stand up, Maddie. She's a big, strong person, you get it? So she's the one lifting the chairs and stuff. She has her lifting shoes on tonight. But we're all 4 of you girls. Would you stand up and thank you for all that you did to be here every night? They've been here from the moment Mr. Beaver and I arrived to know. I first played Albemarle Overture when I first came to the Hilltop, and I will never forget that experience. Jeff Lucas was the drum major then, Mr. Lucas, and we had a chance to play this piece on our opening concert 4 years ago. And I was telling some of the seniors from 4 years ago, and they were so excited that this group is sharing it again. This is a wonderful overture, and just buckle your seatbelts. This is Albemarle Overture. gorgeous night. We appreciate everything you do to bring our students this far, and we can't wait to be back with you again. And truthfully, settle in now, especially with our younger students, come Monday where we can settle back in and actually start a routine together and work towards our next goals. Thank you all for coming so very much. Our students, we're going to ask all of our students to put away their own chair, their own instrument, and take one percussion instrument into the lobby. And then with doing things that way, we'll be cleaned up very quickly. Again, thank you. Continue to be safe, North Hills, and we can't wait to see you soon. Good night.